तो हम अपना हिस्ट्री का चैप्टर कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं। ठीक है। पॉलिसी ऑफ ब्लू वाटर कैन बी सेड टू द प्रीकर्सर। इसका एक बार मीनिंग देखेंगे पूरा गूगल पे। जो ब्लू वाटर पॉलिसी है कैन बी सेड टू दी द ब्लू वाटर जो ब्लू वाटर पॉलिसी इसको ऑल्जे मोर्जन हम कह सकते हैं कि इसका पॉलिसी ऑफ स्ट्रिंग ऑफ पर्ल्स which is being currently applied by China in Indian Ocean to encircle surround strategic India's important trade and strategic port by creating Chinese port at the strategic locations such as uh, Ham Bantota port in Sri Lanka. This is Portugal used naval power to strategic port to engage in Indian Ocean China. Similarly, Portuguese has started creating trade blocks on major sea routes and passages in Indian Ocean by deploying caravels and carracks, the warship loaded with ammunition. If the ship of Arabian Gujarati merchant did not pay the toll to Portuguese ships, then they were attacked and sunk in blue water of Arabian Sea. Ship of did not pay tolls to Portuguese ships, they were attacked and sunk in the blue water. What was the what was the policy of Blue Waters? The Arabian Venetian merchant pleased to Burji Mamluk Sultan of Egypt to restore the trade balance in Arabian Sea, resulting in Battle of Chol in the year 1508, where Portuguese fleet led by uh, Lorenzo Francisco का बेटा was defeated by Mamluk Sultan fleet. This was first defeat of Portuguese in Indian Ocean. By Arabian और Vatican merchant ने flee करा किसको बुर्ज Mamluk Sultan of Egypt to restore the trade balance in Arabian Sea, resulting in Battle of Chol in this year 1508, where the Portuguese fleet led by Lorenco were defeated by Mamluk Sultan fleet. Is the first defeat of Portuguese in Indian Ocean. However, Almeida had the last laugh when he defeated the joint fleet of Sultan of Gujarat, the Mamluk Burj Sultanate of Egypt, and the Zamorin of Calcutta in Battle of Diu in 1509, thus turning the Arabian Sea into Portuguese Sea by monopolizing the major straits and trade routes. Almeida had the last laugh. Almeida ultimately succeeded when he defeated the joint foe Sultan of Gujarat, the memorable Sultan of Egypt, and Zamorin of Calicut in Battle of this, turning Arabians into Portuguese by monopolizing major trade and trade routes. However, the Almeida was not inclined toward establishing a territorial empire in India. Instead, he implemented blue water policy to secure Portuguese supremacy at sea and advance Portuguese business interest in Indian Ocean. Alfonso de Albuquerque, 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 Bug, Bug, Buquerque, Albuquerque, Albuquerque, Albuquerque. Alfonso de Albuquerque, who succeeded Almeida as Portuguese governor in India, is credited as found, uh, real founder of Portuguese power in the East. Carta system. What is this now? Carta system. The Portuguese East India Company introduced the Carta system in the early 16th century in Indian Ocean. They aimed to establish their authority, replacing the Arab and Persian mariners who traditionally maintained they क्या they aimed to establish their authority, replacing Arab and Persian mariners who traditionally maintained order in maritime trade. The Carters required Asian partners to recognize Portuguese supremacy by paying a toll. Maintain order in maritime. Carter required Asian partners to recognize Portuguese supremacy by paying a toll. It granted freedom of movement but limited the number of ships to specific designation, impacting Indian Ocean trade negatively. The Portuguese had a history of privateering and enslaving captures later introducing this practice to Indian Ocean. The Carter system significantly affected the Asian merchant, leading to decline in their maritime trade and commerce. The Portuguese trade specific designations meaning Portuguese had a history of privateering and enslaving captured slaves. Introducing this practice into Indian Ocean means GDT. Hawaii. Portugal has a history of privateering. Privateering meaning strategically control Indian Ocean by setting up these key interests. Portuguese strongholds were established in East Africa, the Red Sea, Ormuz, Malabar, and Malacca. Al- Albuquerque introduced a permit system for ships, Carta system, and controlled vital shipbuilding centers. He also acquired Goa from Sultan of Bijapur at the time, whose name was Ismail Adil Shah in 1510. With the time, Goa became principal political center in India. Albuquerque established a diplomatic relation with strong Indian power at that point of time, such as Krishnadevara or Vijayanagar Empire, as Goa acted as major trade point for importing good quality Iran and Iraq horses, in lieu of which Krishnadevara granted permission to Albuquerque create fort at Baghdad in northern Karnataka region. Thus, Portugal also played a role in power struggles between Krishna Vijayanagar, Sultan Mughal Maratha. Notably, they were first and last European trading power in India, only leaving in 1961 when India reclaimed Goa, Daman, and Diu. He abolished the practice of sati and encourages Portuguese settlers in India to marry locals. They became landlords, introduced new crops, and settled as artisan trades, considering India as their home. El Nino La Nina